The twin sons of Zareth 7 cast long shadows across the crystalline streets. As Eric stumbled through the alien marketplace, his loyal dog Zeus padding beside him. The Kvalari family had finally done it. They'd thrown him out. After 3 years of taking him in as a charity case, a pet project to show their supposed benevolence, they'd decided he was too much trouble. To human, you don't fit our customs, Matriarch Velana had said with her compound eyes gleaming coldly. Your kind is too emotional, too unpredictable. Eric was 17 standard years old, and once again, he was alone. His parents had died in the colony ship crash that brought him to this world, and the Kvalari had been his only family since. Now, with nothing but the clothes on his back and Zeus by his side, he wandered into the industrial district where even the alien inhabitants rarely ventured. Zeus growled softly, his ears perking up. The German Shepherd mix had been with Eric since before the crash, and the dog's instincts had saved them more than once. Eric followed Zeus's gaze to a massive junkyard filled with decommissioned spacecraft and forgotten technology. What is it, boy? Eric whispered. The dog bolted forward, weaving between rusted hulls and broken engines. Eric chased after him, his heart pounding. They ran for nearly 10 minutes before Zeus stopped abruptly before a structure half buried in scrap metal and Zerithian sand. It was a ship, but unlike any Eric had ever seen. Where Kvalari vessels were organic and curved, this one was angular, powerful, deliberately engineered, and the markings on its hull made Eric's breath catch in his throat. English letters. Human letters, UNSC Defiance, he read aloud, his voice trembling. United Nations Space Command. His hands shook as he approached the access panel. It was dead. Of course, the ship had clearly been here for decades, maybe longer. But Eric had learned a lot about technology during his time with the Kvalari, often more than they'd intended to teach him. Humans, he'd discovered, had an intuitive grasp of systems that other species found baffling. Using a piece of scrap metal, he pried open the manual release. The door hissed, and stale air rushed out. Zeus barked excitedly and bounded inside. Eric followed, pulling out his small light source. The interior was ancient but intact. Dust covered every surface, but the ship's structure was solid. Eric made his way to the bridge, his heart racing with every step. This was a human ship, a real human ship from Earth, from before the diaspora, before humanity had scattered across the stars in desperate colony missions. The captain's chair sat empty, waiting. Eric approached the main console and wiped away decades of dust. To his amazement, when he pressed his hand against the biometric scanner, it glowed faintly. Emergency power reserves, perhaps? The screen flickered to life. Biometric scan. Human DNA confirmed. Welcome, survivor. Emergency protocols initiated. Eric nearly fell backward. It still works. Over the next several hours, Eric explored every system. The ship's AI, though operating on minimal power, walked him through the basics. The Defiance had been a military research vessel, carrying experimental technology that was meant to give humanity an edge. In the wars of the old world, it had been declared lost over 70 years ago, long before Eric was even born. But the most incredible discovery came when Eric accessed the engineering bay. There, in sealed containers, was technology the Kvalari and every other species on Zareth 7 would consider impossible. Quantum slipstream drives, nanofabricators, defensive shielding that could withstand weapons fire from an entire fleet. Why? Eric asked the AI. Why did this ship end up here? Captain's logs indicate emergency landing after dimensional rift exposure. The AI responded. Crew evacuated. Ship remained undetected due to advanced stealth systems still operational on emergency power. Zeus barked, and Eric looked down at his companion. You know what this means, don't you, boy? Over the following weeks, Eric worked tirelessly. He scavenged parts from the junkyard, traded in the black markets using items he nanofabricated, and slowly brought the Defiance back to life. The Kvalari never looked for him. One discarded human wasn't worth their attention. That was their first mistake. Eric learned that 17 other human refugees lived scattered across Zareth 7, all of them treated as second-class beings, charity cases for species that saw themselves as superior. He contacted them in secret, and one by one they came. Among them was Anna, a 20-year-old engineer who'd survived her own colony ship disaster. "I can't believe this is real," Anna breathed, running her hands over the ship's controls. Her dark eyes shone with tears. "A real Earth ship. Military grade. It's more than that," Eric said, pulling up the technical specifications. "It's our way out. Our way to prove that humans aren't just survivors, we're builders, innovators, warriors when we need to be." Together, Eric and Anna worked to restore the ship fully. The other humans contributed what they could: knowledge, skills, hope. And as the weeks became months, the Defiance transformed from a forgotten relic into a fully operational warship. The day came when the Quillari Consortium tried to conscript the human refugees for dangerous mining operations. It was legal under their laws. Refugees had no rights. But when the enforcement ships arrived at the junkyard to round up Eric and the others, they found something that made their sensors scream in alarm. The Defiance rose from the scrap, its hull gleaming, its weapons systems online, its shields shimmering with power that shouldn't exist. Eric stood on the bridge, Anna at the tactical station, Zeus sitting calmly at his feet. The communication channel crackled. "This is Eric Chen of the UNSC Defiance to Quillari Enforcement. You've spent years treating humans like pets, like lesser beings. You threw us away when we weren't convenient. But here's what you forgot: humans don't give up. We don't quit. And we definitely don't forget." The Quillari ships hesitated, their sensors unable to penetrate the Defiance's shields or match its technology. "We're leaving Zareth 7, Eric continued, "and we're taking every human refugee who wants to come. You won't stop us. You can't, because while you were busy feeling superior, we found something you'd overlooked for 70 years: proof that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons. It's our refusal to stay down when the universe knocks us over." The Defiance's engines roared to life, and the ship rose into the sky. The Quillari could only watch as the vessel, that they'd walked past 1,000 times, dismissed as worthless junk, carried the humans toward the stars. In the captain's chair, Eric smiled and scratched Zeus behind the ears. "Told you we'd find a way." "Boy," behind him, Anna pulled up star charts, and 17 other humans, no longer refugees, but crew prepared for a journey home. The galaxy had underestimated humanity. It wouldn't make that mistake again. The end.